What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner.tv, folks. Yep, I'm back. I hate to inform all the trolls and haters out there, but yeah, your boy is back. Had a couple episodes, heart issue, and I may be needing a procedure, so please pray for me. I have AFib. I've had it all my life, but I'll get into it later in the program. What happened? I passed out. I dropped like a rock, like a lead balloon. Twice, had to call the ambulance. Didn't know where I was at. I was very confused. But I may be getting a procedure. So I'll get into all that in a little bit during this podcast. I'll tell you exactly what happened, how it happened. It was really scary. But I'm here. I'm back, folks. I'm ready to rock and roll. Trump accuses Obama of treason publicly. Not Truth Social posts, nothing like that. He says it publicly in front of all the press. And what happens? The MSN goes silent. It goes silent because this is how it's going to work. We are now entering the new phase of the operation where this is going to start coming out. Now, here's what you got to expect. It'll hit alternative media first. All the people that jump ship with Trump, that don't like Trump, they're going to have to start reporting on this. I've always been tried and true, so I'm here. And I'm telling you right now, folks, I've been over the target, I would say 90% of the time. So this is where it's going. Now you're going to be hearing nothing but Obama, Fauci, Clinton. It's all starting now as we head into the midterms. So, Alex, if you want to show that video of Trump, breaking the ice, go for it.
Who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up that came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they look. He's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it.
There you go, folks. Right out of the horse's mouth. It's not me telling you, it's Trump. So what is this going to lead? It's going to lead to a lot more alternative media personalities covering this, a lot more circulation on social media, and then the mainstream media is going to have to cover this. Now, what's going to happen with the mainstream media? Well, they're going to lie a lot first. They're going to take both sides. They're going to play devil's advocate, and which I have to, for FluffTube purposes, bring it to you as a question, right? Because we're on FluffTube. But this is going to take, it's going to grow legs of its own, and it's going to begin running, folks. Lightning speed. It's going to happen really fast. So as this develops, I'll be on top of it, as always, as I always am, folks. By the way, I appreciate all the prayers. Man, a lot of you came through with a lot of prayers, and I got to say, 𝗶𝗶𝗍 and all of you, man, that have just been praying for me. So many of you out there, so many of you had my personal number and were checking in with me. It's impossible to thank all of you, but I can do it all at once here. Thank you. Thank you for the prayers. It was a very scary time in my life. It's still scary, but I did something very stupid, and I'll talk about that in a moment, about midpoint of this. When I read about the mid-roll, I'll talk about what I did that was very stupid that triggered the AFib. I'm still sober and I didn't do anything like that, but I made a miscalculation. I did a big miscalculation on my part, and I believe that's what brought on my afibrillation. So I'll get into that. Folks, hit the notification button. Like, share, and subscribe. Please help me help you. Also, Venmo, 𝗵𝗲𝗏1977. Guess what, bro? Guess what, folks? I got hospital bills to pay now. Great. That's just wonderful. Oh, boy. I was worried about that the whole time. I'm like, oh, man, they're just racking up the bills. So, yeah, I had any kind of token you want to throw me on Venmo would be very highly appreciated. Venmo is 𝗵𝗲𝗏1977. Thank you if you care to contribute a little bit. Also, when the lights go out on Amazon, please leave an honest review. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. Just please leave an honest review. I'm a little off today, folks. Also, my mom's book, The Mexican Mix. Please leave an honest review on that as well. And folks, get trim. Get trim with Nino. All right, folks. New research confirms what millions of people have quietly suspected. Your body's natural GLP-1 production declines with age, and it starts earlier than what most people think. GLP-1 is the hormone that signals fullness and quiets cravings. When your levels drop, hunger becomes nearly impossible to control through willpower alone. It's why the diet that worked in your 20s stops working in your 30s and 40s, and it only gets harder from there. This is why I take BioTrust GLP-1 Elevate, and I'm obsessed with the results I'm seeing. Instead of a needle that forces a pharmaceutical override, it uses clinically studied plant-based ingredients like 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶 to help my body naturally restore its own GLP-1 signals. In clinical trials, it increased GLP-1 levels by 58% and reduced calorie intake by 20%. No prescription, no side effects, no metabolic crash, just genuine fullness, quieter cravings, and results that actually hold. If you want to get on it, get 51% off right now by going down to the link below and getting started on it, folks. It's never too late. Let me set my ghetto timer. I like the ghetto timer. Reminds me of like back in the 80s when my when the oven would be done and bing, or the microwave bing. Folks, X is Nino Boxer. NinosCorner.shop. NinosCorner.shop. You get your get a shirt like this. Hey, Truth Hits Hard. Truth Hits Hard shirts. That's the line we have up right now. Nino's Corner hats, mugs. The entire thing is up there. People really like the stuff. What can I say? Hey, yes. All right, so we're doing our best, folks. We're doing our best. Whew, a little short of breath, but I'm gonna hang in there and do the best I can. NinosCorner.tv, folks. Man, I got John Pounders up there. 𝗂𝗏 is up there right now. I knocked out a podcast with him last night, and it's almost an hour long, maybe about 40-something minutes. So that's up there right now. The Ghost is up there right now. 𝗀𝗋𝗄𝗃 𝗀𝗃𝗃 coming on today. Pete Santilli is going to be the general in the general's tent. That's going to be epic. Those of you who are not within the general's tent, you better get on there and be part of the VIP package, man. It's amazing. So Pete Santilli, who read the Tulsi report, will be talking about this on the general's tent. It's gonna be stellar. That is Friday the 26th, 5 p.m. Jim Willie's coming back on. I'm gonna have Jim Willie. Craig Lund is coming back on, folks. It's a star-studded NinosCorner.tv. Also, Live Forever. Yes, it's still up there. Pay once and have no headaches, no monthly payments, no heartaches. You're a member for life. You can be a member for life with just one payment. And let me tell you, it's really cheap. It's really, really cheap. All right, folks, you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Yeah. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, baby. Yeah. Oh, Nino, be careful of your heart. Nino, don't pop a blood vessel. Oh, Nino. Be very careful. Yeah, I know now. Let me tell you, folks, mental and emotional exhaustion, being a caretaker, like going up to my parents' house every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. They have nurses, but just a mental exhaustion, I think, is what contributed to this. And also having toxic people in my life that have made this very, very hard. It's been brutal for me, but I appreciate all the prayers and everything. I'm going to tell you what happened. And Alex, remind me, I got to tell people what happened because I'll forget. I'll forget. But I still knocked out a great podcast with 𝗂𝗏 last night, and it's up there now. Very informative, folks. We are definitely going into the next phase. I've been talking about this phase of the operation for a very, very long time. We're here now. It's going to start really picking up. They're going to go all in. Now that we've neutralized now that we've USAID, the ICE raids, which the ICE raids will continue, but the big ones where we took down the terrorist cells, That's done. Maduro, Iran threat, and there's some other things, other neutralized threats. Now we're going into spotlight on Obama, Clinton, Comey, the whole thing. That's where this is going now. And Trump is giving the cold shoulder to Israel, like I said he would. Just like I said he would. You hear me, Candace Owens? Do you hear me? You don't hear me now, but you will. Because I'm right. Oh, I'm right. Candace and Tucker, you're going to see. You're going to see. David Nino Rodriguez is telling you right now, I was right. The cold shoulder's happening. I told you I was going to wait. I was going to just hold out just a little bit. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to jump just yet. You all jump ship, not me. And you're going to see what happens next. All right, folks. So it's finally here. Trump calls out the entire criminal deep state cabal publicly does this. Are you paying attention yet? Now are you listening to Nino? Are you starting to just barely listen to Nino? It's getting juicy, folks. It's getting juicy. So here comes my politically correct rant on YouTube, the YouTube safe version. If you want the fringe, it's ninoscorner.tv. But good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So, and I should say, folks, I really could have died. I'm going to go into the middle of this podcast and tell you what happened to me. Washington is once again at the center of political firestorm after President Donald Trump made one of the most serious accusations ever leveled by a current or former president against another. Why? Because they've all been selected, not elected. Speaking to reporters, Trump alleged that former President Barack Obama committed treason, claiming that newly declassified documents support his position. He also said that Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has additional documents, thousands of them, claiming that, according to him, will further strengthen his claims. So it's all coming. Trump didn't mince words or stop there. He also named several former senior officials, including Joe Biden, James Comey, John Brennan, and James Clapper, arguing that they were part of what he described as a coordinated effort against his campaign and presidency. He further claimed that Hillary Clinton played a central role in originating the idea. Yeah. All right, so here's my disclaimer for FluffTube. Now, let's be clear about where things stand. These are allegations made by President Trump. They have not been established in court, and the individuals he named have denied wrongdoing relating to past investigations. I can't believe I'm reading this shit. Whether the documents Trump referenced will substantiate the claims remains to be seen. My little YouTube disclaimer. That said, the political shakeup can hardly be higher. If newly released records reveal significant new information about decisions made during the Russia investigation or the intelligence community's actions, they could reignite one of the most contentious political battles in modern American history since last seen in the Civil War. That's not a joke either. That's where they want this to go. If, on the other hand, the documents do not support the sweeping conclusions being suggested, the latest confrontation will likely deepen an already divided political landscape. Regardless of where you stand politically, folks, this story has a potential to dominate headlines for not just weeks, months, and years. And let me tell you something. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You think your local representatives are safe? They're not. They're all, folks, the tentacles of this go so deep. It's like when the Titanic hit the iceberg. We just hit the iceberg. The iceberg underneath the ocean. You see the tip of it, and it's enormous under the ocean. Those are all the local representatives that were involved or took part in this. You're all in fucking trouble. So what exactly is in these documents? Will additional records be released, and will they materially change what is already publicly known about the origins of the Russia investigation. Today, we're going to break down exactly what President Trump said, what has already been released, but what Tulsi Gabbard publicly stated, what remains unverified, and what the legal and political implications could be if additional evidence emerges, which it will. Go ahead and play some of the Tulsi stuff, Alex, just real quick, just to get my audience up to par here. So here's Tulsi. We're just going to play a couple.
I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence Report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process, not show any preference of a certain party. In fact, this report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency. In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community intentionally suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton until after her potential and likely victory. The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had, on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts, like secret meetings with multiple.
That's good enough. There you go, folks. The shit is the proverbial shit is hitting the fan. Here we go. It's game on. Now, you're not going to hear about this just yet on MSN, but you will. You will. They're going to have no choice but to cover this as this grows legs and starts running, like I said, lightning speed. So, President Trump says Barack Hussein Obama is guilty of treason. So the leader of the gang, Barack Hussein Obama, has been, well, Trump says, have you heard of him? He's guilty. It's there. He's guilty. This is treason. This was every word you can think of. We have all the documents. Tulsi has thousands of additional documents coming. President Obama, it was his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Biden was there with them. Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group. The Shady Bunch. The Shady Bunch. I don't remember how the Brady Bunch used to go. Dun, 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 the Shady Bunch. All right, you all get what I'm saying. All right, so Skiff on X says Obama should have never legally been on the ballot in 2008. What? Obama did not have enough of the 500 signatures needed, with 100 to 200 signatures fraudulent found by prosecutors to even qualify to be put on the ballot, is what he's saying. Is he right or wrong? I don't know. You all decide. It's good to be back, folks. I'm glad to see my Black Sheep family. I'm so happy so many of you turned out for this podcast. Thank you for the prayers. Very scary time in my life, especially with all the stuff going on with my family. It's just, man, boy, it was scary. Kash Patel confirms felony convictions against James Comey. This is massive for accountability. So Kash Patel is out there right now making the rounds. You're going to see the Shady Bunch there. Yeah, that's it. There. I didn't know there was a thing on it. Did I get it from somewhere and I just don't remember? Hey, maybe I do. I don't know. So listen to this, folks. Keir Starmer, the British politician who led the UK center-left Labour Party to a landslide election victory in 2024 to become prime minister, is stepping down. As of today, Starmer has announced that he is resigning. Do you see all these things happening in the background, folks? A lot of you say, oh, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Folks, remember, this operation needs to be done in a way that you do not disturb Grandma and the cat. That's how it was told to me. You cannot disturb Grandma and the cat. It's got to look, I told Juanito this. I go, okay, it's got to look very organic. He says, exactly. It's got to look organic. Like this shit's just happening. As for today, Starmer has announced that he is resigning as both Labor Party leader and prime minister. He said he will remain as a caretaker prime minister until Labor chooses a new leader in the coming weeks. Why does this guy need to step down? Because the deep state is dying on the vine. It's done. I'm telling you right now, folks, by all means, there should be cartel wars kicking off like crazy in Mexico, and they are not. What I'm hearing is doors are being kicked down. They're being dragged out of their houses and being taken in. Now, that's just, I do feel like I have that validated, but I can't say it as fact. I just have to say that's what I'm hearing. So that's what I'm hearing, okay? And that also the other certain cartel families are being given an option to go into mineral mining and other ways of making money, from my understanding. So it's really a really strange situation developing in Mexico right now, and Claudia knows exactly what's going on with Trump. So they're working together. Breaking news, Dr. Fauci exposed. RFK Jr. reveals child. Now, this one's kind of, I don't want to get into this too much, but basically we all see what's happening with Dr. F. Frankenstein. He's definitely been exposed. It's on. Everything is being revealed on this guy. And I know a lot of you are saying, fine, finally, when is it going to happen? But when are the arrests? When is this? When is that? You got to win the court of public opinion. You got to bring the sleepers on slowly. Look, folks, you still got people wearing masks, okay? You got some very, very people out there, very, very liberal people out there, hey, not really understanding what's going on. They don't pay attention to any of this shit. They watch the Kardashians. They're going to be the first ones to rise up. We need to rise up. They're going to be the first to do that. So that's why you have to kind of play this things behind the scenes, kind of bring people along slowly. We're a very fringe, niche audience. We get it. We're ahead of the game. But a lot of people out there are just busy paying their mortgage, taking care of their kids. They've been quadrupled this. They've lost all sense of awareness. They don't know what's going on. And they'll be the first to get violent and be, hey, what's going on here? Hey, this is the revolution. I'm going to march the streets because I have no fucking clue what's going on in my life. These people, those, you got neighbors. We all got them. They're out there. You see them all the time, painting their house rainbow colors for June. Gavin Newsom's wife was laundering herself so much money from the NGO she was actually in the top. She was actually in the top 5% for pay from all charities in the entire nation. The only charities that beat this are churches. People like Joel Osteen, those type of guys. Yeah, they're in the business of God. They're thieves for Jesus. Thieves for Jesus. Amen. Can I get an amen? Just send me $10,000. I'll see a $10,000 check. I see someone out there writing me a $10,000 check going into my pocket. I mean, Jesus' pocket, so he can heal more people through me asking for money. Jesus, thieves for Jesus. But that's not all. Gavin Newsom bought his $3.7 million Sacramento estate. It was done through an LLC, but that LLC doesn't seem to have appeared to be on his tax returns. Why doesn't this guy just start a church? Yeah. There's a lot of questions. I love these churches. There's a church here in El Paso. It has like a game center, a Starbucks. It's like a mall. And the first 20 minutes of the church says you need to give 10% of everything you make to the church. Well, I already give it to the government. More than that. Well, you need to give another 10% to the church. Well, what if I'm the type of guy that likes to give to the homeless person on the street when no one's looking? I don't like to make a big deal out of it. Well, we would rather take your money and do what we want with it. Okay, so we would like to give to the homeless. We'll take your money and give it appropriately to who we think we need to give it to. Ourselves. I'm going to be driving a Lamborghini, motherfucker, and a fucking helicopter at my house. I got a fucking helicopter pad. But it's for Jesus, because Jesus needs helicopters and he needs a Lamborghini. Jesus likes to roll in style. Why? Because he works for God. That's a lot of what they say. They say, well, I work for God and I just, he wants me to be comfortable. He wants me. Really, his only son wasn't comfortable. He was a bum. He was like walking around in sandals and not a bum, but you know what I mean, a nomad, a guy with no clothes, hardly anything on him, any linen on him, and they crucified him. They killed him. But God wants you to be comfortable because you're helping him. All right, I don't know where I'm getting off on this stuff. I'm on a tangent today, folks. So when they had a look at Jennifer Newsom's charity, I found that she was paying herself since 2012, $3.7 million. And this is a lot of money when you look at the amount that the charity brings in. It's sort of 1 to 1.7 million a year, and she's paying up to a third of that to herself and her own company, $300,000 a year. Just paying it to herself. Just paying it to herself. Yeah, because, she deserves it. She started the charity. Man, in the video included more instances where Gavin Newsom laundered money to his wife, $1 million to block a casino project, $5 million to an office for his wife that he created. He sent $300,000 from his donor at PG&E to his wife, NGO, and more. It never ends. This keeps going and going and going and going. All right, let's get into some Israel news. What do you all say? So Netanyahu, which I've been saying for the longest time. I just went on the Jake Shields podcast, the Fighter podcast, and I said, hey, dude, he's like, I want to believe you. I just disagree. I don't think that's what's going on. I go, well, you'll see. You're going to see that Trump is now going to start turning on Israel, and that's what exactly is happening. I even have some doubts that Netanyahu's alive. I'll be honest. I don't know the extent of what's going on behind the scenes, but I still have my doubts that this guy's even alive, just to be honest. But Netanyahu bet everything on Trump, and Israel lost at the roulette table. Well, I know that feeling. Analysis: for a decade, Netanyahu placed Israel's Iran strategy on Trump, alienating Democrats and much of the West. Now the U.S. president's deal with Tehran leaves Jerusalem isolated. Yeah, it does. Humiliated and searching for ways to limit the damage. Uh-oh. Do I hear someone being last? Do I hear somebody being last out there? Was Nino right? Well, it wasn't from me. I just believe what was said on the boards. Hey. Israel's strategic position has never been worse, not during the War of Independence and not even during the terrifying first days of the Yom Kippur War. In June 2026, Israel is facing not only strong and determined enemies from outside, enemies it has failed to defeat, but also the gradual loss of what was once its firmest pillar of support, the great friend, the great United States. It sure does seem like Trump's giving it a cold shoulder. For a decade, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu placed all his chips on Donald Trump. He gambled that with Trump, he would be able to bring down the Ayatollah's regime in Iran. Along the way, and especially ahead of the change of administration in January 2025, he clashed with the Democratic Party and lost the support of much of the Western world. But in recent weeks, Trump appears to have unexpectedly abandoned Netanyahu on the way to an agreement with Tehran. Then really again, was this ever really unexpected? Nah. I've been saying this for a long time. When everyone was calling me names and throwing shit at me and spitting on me and kicking me in the nuts, I was saying it. I was like, all right, have your fun right now. I'm going to be right about this. You're going to see him turn. And it's happening. Now, I'm not saying that Iran might not act up a little bit here and there and need to have a little spanking. They may have to have some more strikes put on them, but this is not maturing into a war with Turkey, Egypt, the whole Middle East. You get what I'm saying here, folks? Yeah, we may have to spank Iran a few more times. I'm not saying that won't happen. That very much could happen. I'm not going to say it won't. But you know what Israel wants? Complete and utter domination of the Middle East. Slow your roll, Netanyahu. There's a new sheriff in town. U.S.-Iran negotiations end. technical talks will continue after Trump and Sheikh's talk with threats. So high-level negotiations in Switzerland seeking a permanent end to the Iran war concluded early Monday with lower-level talks planned for the rest of the week as Iran and the United States agreed to create a 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗹 cell to address the fighting in Lebanon. A statement from mediators Pakistan and Qatar said the cell would include the Lebanese government and would ensure the adherence of the termination of military operations in Lebanon. But it remains unclear whether that will be enough to stop fighting between the Iran-backed militia, Hezbollah, and Israel. So you know Israel's going to keep trying to perpetuate this. That's their best bet. They're going to keep trying and trying and trying. But what I think is going to happen here, just a hunch, Trump's just going to keep ignoring the situation and keep pushing the peace talks as we go into other parts of this operation. I don't know, like Obama, Clinton, Comey, Brennan. That's where this is going. So he's probably just going to keep a lid on Iran until or after at least things start really picking up with Obama and Hillary and the midterms are done. So that's I think this is going to be kind of the tone that it's going to stay. This is just going to keep at this level all the way to the midterms. I don't think anything's going to really escalate. There might be some strikes here and there, like I said, but nothing's going to really escalate to the point where it's going to be another what they call war, right? I don't think that's coming until maybe after midterms. But right now, I think a lid's on it, and things are going to start coming out on Obama, Brennan, Comey, Hillary Clinton. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with me. Vance, Iranians in Switzerland for first talks overshadowed by closure of Strait. Like I said, this still might get bumpy. It still might be a little bumpy, but folks, it's not going to escalate to the point where we're going into a full-out war. The talks were the first to be held under the terms of a memorandum of understanding agreed a week ago, which calls for the Strait to be reopened and a halt to all hostilities, including in Lebanon, which U.S. ally Israel invaded in March. But with scant sign of the end of fighting there, Iran said on Saturday it had to again shut the Strait, whose closure for nearly 4 months caused the biggest disruption in global energy supplies in history. So you better bet that Israel's going to keep poking, hoping to restart the conflict. So we'll probably see Israel continuing with the bombing in Lebanon. That's probably what we're going to see. But I don't think Trump's going to do dick about it. So this is going to get very, very interesting. This is pretty interesting. I found this to be pretty interesting, folks. Far-right millionaire Abelardo de la Espriella, I think that's how you say his name, wins Colombia's presidential runoff. Left-wing opponent alleges vote count irregularities after Trump-endorsed lawyers secures narrowly majority win. The Trump-admiring far-right millionaire lawyer and self-styled outsider, Abelardo de la Espriella, I don't know how you say his name, has won Colombia's presidential runoff, defeating the left-wing Senator Iván Cepeda. So think about this. This would not have happened 4 years ago, but it's happening now. And what's so important about this, folks? When people like this win, upstaging and defeating the left, the deep state, it's got to look natural. It's got to look organic, in which it is right now. It's looking organic, and like people are like, wow, he won. Things are being handled. Why? Because we got Maduro. Maduro. Oh, it's all because of Maduro, folks. Things are going to start changing rapidly in Colombia, in El Salvador, all over South America. Rapidly changing. I bet you they're going to start building more prisons. I bet you that for sure. You know that's coming. All right, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my ghetto timer real quick. Bing, because I know it's just right there and it's bothering me. I keep looking at it and I'm like, I know it's going to ring. So, folks, new research confirms, and I'm going to tell you my little what happened to me with my heart issue right after this. New research confirms what millions of people have quietly suspected: your body's natural GLP-1 production declines with age, and it starts earlier than most people think. GLP-1 is the hormone that signals fullness and quiets cravings. When your levels drop, hunger becomes nearly impossible to control through willpower alone. It's why the diet that worked in your 20s stops working in your 30s and 40s, and it only gets worse from there. This is why I take BioTrust GLP-1 Elevate, and I'm obsessed with the results I'm seeing. Instead of a needle that forces a pharmaceutical override, it uses clinically studied plant-based ingredients like 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶 to help my body naturally store its own GLP-1 signals. In clinical trials, it increased GLP-1 levels by 56%. It's 56%. And reduced calorie intake by 20%. No prescription, no side effects, no metabolic crash. Just genuine fullness, quieter cravings, and results that actually hold. Go right now and get 51% off by clicking the link below. Start right now, folks. Get busy getting skinny. I'm telling you, folks, I'm losing weight like crazy. I'm taking that stuff. I'm also doing the peptide thing. And so this is where this comes into my story. All right, here I go. I'm going to come clean with everybody. So buckle up. Let me get my coffee. All right, folks, I made a mistake. No, I'm still sober. I'm still sober, but you know I love peptides. So I am taking some of the peptides, and I really love them. They're doing great. They're doing great for me. But I tried a new one, and I'm not going to say which one it is here, but, you know, well, fuck it, I will. It was called 𝗬𝗏𝗃. It was an energy mitochondrial type of energy peptide. And I was told to take it in the mornings, but it didn't matter if I took it at night, blah, 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 blah. Well, I've had afibrillation since I was, I guess, since my boxing career, because ever since I was boxing, I'd go in for an EKG, and before a fight, the doctors would always talk about, well, he has AFib. We don't know if we should have him fight or not. But, you know, they would always pose that question. So it was always iffy if I could even fight for every fight because my afibrillation was so severe, even in my 20s. I never paid attention to it because I was young, and I felt like, well, you know, this is not going to, you know, I didn't even know what afibrillation was. They just said I had an irregular heartbeat. A lot of athletes have that. Well, after I quit drinking, 6 years and 6 months, the afibrillation went away. And I felt very proud about that. So the other night, Friday night, I decided to take that new peptide. Now I'm on about 3 different peptides that are doing very well for me. But this is why, folks, you need to check with your doctor. You really do need to get blood work. You need to talk to your doctor about what you're doing. You got to tell them what you're doing. Always consult with your physician in this kind of stuff, except when it comes to this. You know how I feel about that stuff. The shit they pushed on you in 20. Okay, anyway. So, you know, I was told to take a certain amount of it, and for some reason, something hit me and said, no, Dave, just take half. And I was like, this is weird. Why am I being told like, God, just take half. Just take half. So I took half. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this peptide. I took it at bedtime, which you're not supposed to take. You're supposed to take it in the morning. It's supposed to give you energy, all this stuff. Anyway, I went to bed kind of clammy, kind of lightheaded, and I thought nothing of it, and I got really tired. So I was like, wow, I'm going to sleep pretty good tonight, I guess. I fell asleep, and at about 4 a.m, I wake up a little, like I'm still halfway in a sleep, and I go, man, I got to go take a leak. So I get out of bed and start walking to the bathroom to take a leak, and then boom, I crash, and I wake up on the floor, not knowing where I'm at. And I felt like I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. I was disoriented. We discussed calling an ambulance. I said, no, I'm not going to call an ambulance. I think I was sleepwalking. I've never in my life sleepwalked before, but maybe I was sleepwalking. I don't know. Laid back down. Christine goes down into the den to do some things down there, and then she said she heard a ba-boom again. I fell down again, and this time I didn't know where I was at. I was confused, so we decided to call the ambulance. They came and found out that I had afibrillation, and I didn't know where I was at. I was confused. I was in the ambulance. I was looking around. I you know, my blood pressure dropped suddenly. The whole thing. Went into the hospital, and there I was, not really understanding anything they were saying. I was just in another world, man. I can't believe that happened to me. They ran all the tests. Yep, AFib fibrillation, and now they're looking to, they kept me for a couple days. They monitored my heart. They put me on blockers, on blood thinners, and here I am now. So I got to pray about this situation I'm in right now. They released me last night. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. I really believe that peptide triggered what I'm in now, where I'm at right now. I believe that peptide triggered it that I was on. So that's why I say, folks, please consult your physicians, get blood work, know what you're doing with this stuff. So now they want to give me a procedure of, I think it's called an abrasion. I could have said that wrong, ablation, something like that. So I'm praying about it, and I'm going to decide what I want to do later. I'm on blockers and blood thinners right now. But that's where I'm at. So it was a scary time for me. And a buddy came in to see me at the hospital, Michael Blanco, who very salt of the earth guy. He grew up in the barrio in El Paso, very loves Jesus Christ. And it's a guy that it's really the person I needed to see. He just showed up in my hospital room and started talking to me, man. It was so good to catch back up with him. I'm going to do a podcast with him because I believe he has an amazing story. And I'm going to do that today at 4 p.m. I'm going to sit down with Michael Blanco and we're going to talk. And I hope he says everything he told me in the hospital room. So we're going to do that today. And I think that's going to be a very good podcast. I hope you guys tune in. He doesn't have a filter. He's a lot like me. So hopefully he tones it down for fluff tube purposes. But we're going to talk about a lot of things that we discussed in the hospital, the spiritual warfare that's happening right now. So this podcast is a little different than what I usually do, but I think it's necessary because we had such a great discussion in the hospital, man, when he came to see me, and it was so good to see him. I really missed that guy, and so it was really good to see him. He was my alcohol and drug counselor when I got my DUIs, and when I met him, it was like, oh, God, a brother from another mother. He was an addict himself. He dealt with a lot of demons, so we're just going to have a real discussion today. I'm going to bring that to you. I'm going to put it on YouTube. Unedited version will go on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏TV just in case he says any crazy shit. So, yeah. So that's what's coming. So that was my weekend, folks, and that's where I'm at. So I appreciate all the prayers. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate all of your love and support. It's been very hard with my family, and that's another thing. The doctor said my stress and emotional exhaustion also contributed to it. I'm pounding out 2, 3, 4 podcasts a day and hitting the gym, also checking up on my parents 3, 4 times a day. It's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. And that's another reason I think my heart just said, that's it, man. So I'm doing my best, folks. You are always a priority. My Black Sheep family is always a priority. I always put you guys first. And by the way, I'm having another Ringside with Nino this Wednesday. So what's today? Monday? Yeah. Wednesday is another Ringside with Nino with my Black Sheep family. I'll talk about it further there if you guys want to listen about it. If not, we could talk about other stuff, but I'll definitely talk with my Ringside family, Black Sheep family on Nino'sCorner.tv this Wednesday, 5 p.m. All right, folks, let's get back to the news. Netflix video podcast engagement numbers are low. You don't say. I mean, do you guys watch anything on Netflix? I watch the last thing. Oh boy, the last thing I watched on Netflix was Maternal Instinct. Now I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys saw this, lady. This is the craziest bitch. I don't think there's even a close second. Two girls, one cup, maybe, maybe, but this even beats it. I've never seen this level of crazy in a woman. If you guys have not seen Maternal Instinct yet on Netflix, that would be the only reason to watch anything on Netflix is this. This is the craziest story I've ever seen in my life. The whole time I watched this documentary, I felt like crawling out of my skin. Oh, this is I don't want to give away the story. Definitely check this out on Netflix. It's absolutely insane. That what you're looking at there, right there, that is the craziest woman to ever walk this planet. The craziest woman to ever walk this. I don't know anybody crazier. I mean, creepy crazy, like stalker crazy. Never. I think she takes a cake. I think she takes the cake. Anyway, Netflix made a big splash last year when it inked deals with various media companies to become the exclusive home of some of the biggest video podcasts around, including the Bill Simmons podcast and Pardon My Take. So far, it doesn't sound like the multi-million-dollar bet is paying off. Netflix announced in October it was partnering with Spotify Studios and The Ringer to exclusively show the video versions of their most popular podcasts. So here's what it is. So people like podcasts because it's kind of like to your taste, right? You go and find and seek out the podcasters you feel are important or entertaining or giving you information, whatever you want out of that podcast. We all kind of don't trust Hollywood anymore. And that's what I think it is. Hollywood's trying to corner the podcasting industry, which is why a lot of them are selling out. But nobody trusts anything on Netflix. So this shows you where consciousness is going. Nobody gives a shit about Netflix. Nobody cares about it. We all know that documentaries are dumb. I mean, the best meme I've ever seen on a Netflix documentary was polar bears, and it shows black bears, right? A picture of black bears, and it says polar bears, right? That's Netflix. That's Netflix in a nutshell. So people don't trust the podcast. They know they're not, you can't trust anything on it. That's just my opinion. And I believe probably 80% of the people feel the same way. So that is why I believe that they're failing. So, their most popular podcasts, including the Bill Simmons podcast, the Zach Lowe Show, the McShay Show, Fairway Rollin', the Mismatch, the Ringer Front Show, the Ringer Fantasy Football Show, the Ringer NFL Show, and the Ringer NBA Show. I guess they're all failing, which is good. Why should Hollywood have it all? Hollywood is dying. It's dying. There is no such thing as a celebrity anymore. I mean, I'm sure, you got your Leonardo DiCaprios, your Tom Cruises, but from here forward, it's like these people, they're dying off. It's a dying industry. It's completely dying off. So I thought that was important to bring up to my audience today. So, hey, yo. Hey, yo. Anyway, I just felt like that was very relevant. All right, folks, I'm going to take some super chats and then get into what the fuck news. Let's get into some super chats. Kelly Panetsky, 576, super sticker. Thank you. Ryan, the Joker, 1985. A minute you posted your YouTube short about being in the hospital, I instantly prayed for you. Thank you so much. Glad you're okay. Praise Jesus. Man, I know the prayers got me through this. Thank you so much. Big time 17-ounce. The Sancho is back, and people are in trouble. Yes, he is. El Sancho has returned. Lucerio Robertson, super sticker. Thank you so much. IDF, yo. I see what you're saying there, and I agree. Hello, everyone. Hello, how are you? QRB5469, all this talk on major arrests, but we you got okay. So nothing big. If it doesn't happen, there will be mass uprisings. Maybe we really do live in a uniparty, the left and right wings of the same bird. No, I'm telling you now, we're watching an operation unfold. Keep the faith, bro. Keep the faith. I'm telling you, man. It's all going to pan out. It's coming. Everything I said is coming. It's slow, but it has to be slow. Why? Because the public is kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? And they're very violent. They're very slow, and they're very violent. Jared Quick B514, here's your 10K check. I would like that. I would like that very much. Yeah, Psalm bitch, LOL. Love you. Thank you. Love you back, man. Samajalan, please order Ambrosia Collective Nectar Superfood. It keeps your organs healthy. I use it. I think it'd be great for you too, big bro. Thank you so much, Samajalan. A lot of people are giving me advice on what to take, what not to take, and this and that. I'm just keeping it simple, man, which means I'm going to just try not to stress. And that means I'm not going to stress about what I have to eat either. All right, let's get to the next one. New Life X4Z. Health is wealth. Jesus is Lord. Thanks for showing up for us today. Take good care. Yeah, man, I always show up for you guys. 100%. And let's get into some what the fuck news. And what the fuck news, baby. Americans have turned against AI in incredible numbers. I'll believe it when I see it. Now I'm starting to sound like the negative Nancy. Not that anyone in power is going to care, but there's even more evidence that Americans are coming to overwhelmingly loathe AI, despite or perhaps because they're using chatbots more than ever. In a sweeping new poll conducted by Pew Research, only 16% of the respondents said they believed AI will have a positive impact on society. A number as dismal as the perception of the tech. Meanwhile, 49% of the adults say they use AI chatbots like ChatGPT. I know we all do. It's the new thing. Just like when the internet first arrived and everyone was on Google. Now, how many of you use ChatGPT more than Google now? Put a thumbs up. I bet you guys use AI way more than Google now. That proportion is considerably higher than the 33% of American adults who said they used AI chatbots in 2024. It's just climbing and climbing and climbing. But the thing is this, folks, we can't tell what's real and what's not anymore. And that's what people are getting sick of. They want authenticity. People want authenticity. In other words, the tech's widespread adoption isn't helping its perception. A full 40% of respondents said they anticipate AI will have a negative impact on society, and 31% said it will impact them personally in a negative way too. This varies quite a bit by age. Gen Z adults ages 18 to 29 were the most wary. They're the most wary of AI, with 48% believing it'll be negative for society. As they're also the group that reported using AI the most at 66%. Interestingly, though, the 30 to 49-year-olds and 50 and up brackets are more closely aligned at 39% and 37% respectively, viewing it as negative. But see, they don't care about that. They just care about the new generation coming in. They're going to be born into AI, and that's it right there. That's the game, folks. That's game, set, match. They're using AI less through the drop-off between their usage is significant. 61% of 30 to 49-year-olds said they use AI chatbots, while only 42% of 50 to 64-year-olds said they did. It was less than a quarter for 65-year-olds and older. What's driving this gap between perception and usage is unclear. You could argue that some feel compelled to use it even when recognizing the tech's shortcomings and the ethical dubiousness of the industry that's building it. In fact, many are literally forced to use it at work, with bosses often more enthusiastic about the tech than the workers are. In any case, it's a real problem for AI's long-term staying power. Right now, the industry is being propelled by hype and the mountains of cash that's being dumped into it. Well, like I said, folks, just look at the AI centers. We are totally building our own digital prison. That's what's happening. And I feel like this even could be like if an alien civilization was going to take over humanity, they wouldn't do it by motherships landing here. They would do it by you building AI data centers and creating your own digital prison. That's how they would do it. And then they would show up after that. After that's all done, after they have the infrastructure created and everyone's in this digital prison, they're controlling our subconscious, our consciousness. Then they show up in ships and do what they want. That's how you do it. Man, look at that thing. That looks alien to me. Is that a data center, Alex? Is that what that is right there?
Yeah, exactly, dude. I think it's from China, that one. It totally looks like an alien structure or something. It's
dude,
weird.
Right? Tell me I'm wrong, bro. This is like, I don't know. The way I see this is how they do it. This is how they do it. And I think this whole thing with digital crypto and this and that, and bro, this is the B system, man. That's what I see coming in. I think we're on our way, bro. I do. I think we're gonna make massive arrests and all this shit, and then we're just gonna hand it over to AI.
I know, man. Yeah, it's crazy times. Only gonna get crazier, I think.
People will be cheering Alex. They'll be like, "Oh, yay, hip hip hooray! He did what he said. Obama's arrested. They're arrested." And then all of a sudden, our AI is running the government.
Right.
Right. Don't you see it? I see it coming. I don't know, like now, like in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but definitely it's coming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see,
I'm
man.
just saying. Well, folks, I'm going to jump on with 𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗁𝗃 today. Later on, I'm going to go lay down for a little bit and take a rest. I appreciate all the prayers. Like I said, man, thank you all for showing up. It means a lot to me. God bless you all. Thanks for coming out to Las Vegas. I love all of you. Thank you so much. And I thought I saw Juan pop in. Did he pop in and pop out?
Yeah, he did. He was in for a couple seconds, and I guess he
All
jetted
right. I
from
guess he
there, but
figured I was too far along in the show, huh?
maybe, yeah, something like that. So we'll have to have him on soon.
I mean, I you know, it is what it is, dude. I told him to get on here. Juanito, you're too slow. You're too slow, Juanito. You're too slow. Folks, I love all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Alex, thank you so much. Thank you for the prayers, folks.
See you guys. Peace.
See you
Nino.
guys. Oh, get to Nino's Corner.tv. Ringside with Nino tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. What is today? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ringside with Nino Wednesday. We're going to war game and talk about everything that's coming up with the Black Sheep family. Another super sticker, 𝗀𝗃𝗶𝗃. Thank you. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the Black Sheep of broadcasting, folks. God bless you. Thank you so much.